Sattler, Andrew Webster in the chair. And before we get to our special guest, Toby Sexton, boys, the styles they play, Cowboys v Storm, would be sensational in Vegas. Got to agree as well. And the Bears, I know Magic Round. Some of the texts here about the Bears and Magic Round. 27 is still at Suncorp. But would you take Magic Round to Perth? Every team in there, dominate the weekend.
Keep it in Queensland.
Make it all about rugby league.
I would not be. Why would you move it from Suncorp from Brisbane, where it's been so successful?
But if you want to send a massive message to the AFL and the community, with all the teams in one place in 27, it would make sense.
Stuff the AFL. Keep it in Brisbane.
I love your attitude. He is flying, this young man. Try scorer last night as well. And the Bulldogs, well, they've come from behind again against a quality match. The Roosters as an opponent last night. Toby Sexton joins us on the show. How are you, Toby?
I'm good, boys. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you very much. We know how difficult it is the morning after a game. A lot of players like to relax and do whatever they do. So how are you waking up as a player that has not been used to playing in a side that's leading the comp? Tell me just about the difference in feeling that you have as a young half, being in the position you are at the moment at a club like the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a pretty good feeling at the moment. You're always pretty sore after games, but I'm getting pretty used to winning at the moment, and that certainly makes it a lot better the next day. And it was again the same thing last night. Obviously, pretty poor first 40 from us, but the way we were able to win it in the end was pretty special, and there's definitely a good vibe around the club at the moment.
Toby, thanks so much for joining us. It's been great watching the Bulldogs and yourself this season. I reckon that was the game of the year. That was so enthralling to watch. What did Ciro say to you guys at halftime?
Yeah, he was pretty calm actually. I thought we didn't play overly that bad in the first 40, but just got a couple of things wrong and kind of come in the sheds a little bit frustrated. But Cameron kind of gave us a really clear and simple message, and it was all around our set ends where we were turning over the ball, and then also just changing a few things up in attack. And I thought we did them nicely, and he was kind of certain if we could do them, well then the scoreboard will kind of take care of itself. And we managed to do that pretty well in the second half.
He doesn't seem like a yeller. Doesn't seem like he'd shout too much, Ciro. Does he bark too much if you're not playing well?
No, he doesn't actually. It's quite surprising. He's always, sometimes after the last couple of games, I'll probably come in the shed thinking we're going to come and spray, but it's the complete opposite of anything, and it kind of installs a lot of confidence in us as boys, and it's always a really simple, clear message, and he's done that with a couple of games lately, and we've been able to kind of get that message across and put it out in the second half and come home pretty strong, which has been nice.
Hey, Toby, you just touched earlier on about the starts to the game. What's been the conversation around that with players and the coach? Can you put your finger on a few occasions now, the Broncos, the Canberra Raiders, and again last night, why it's happening?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it's just a combination of a few things. I think between me and Matty Burton, just where we're ending our sets aren't probably good enough, and obviously possession as well. We gave Roosters last night a massive amount of possession in that first half. I think it was over 60%, and as you know, every team in the NRL has got such quality attack, and when you're given Roosters too many good opportunities, they're going to take care of it. So I think it's just a matter of being able to even up possession and ending our sets in better positions. If we can do that, well then hopefully don't have to come back from behind at half time.
Now, Toby, I listened to Jacob Carraz on the podcast with Paul Kent and Johnny Elias. It was a really good chat with Jacob Carraz. I haven't had a lot to do with Jacob, but he talks about, I've got a lot of man crushes, Webby, as you know, in the game, and one of them's Stephen Crichton.
It's a bit creepy, to be perfectly honest.
So, Toby, he talked about Jacob Carraz, and he said the amount of research that Stephen Crichton does on his opposition and the videos that he does just trying to fine-tune who he's going to come up against the following week. He said, I've never seen it before, and it actually set a real precedence for a lot of players, including himself. Has he had that much of an influence? Has he, from the inside, we don't know, but from the outside we can only make assumptions. Has he made that much of a difference to some of the standards in the club?
Yeah, he's honestly, there's not many words to kind of say in regards to the impact he's had for the club. I think he's been the reason why the club's so successful now, and he's just a winner, and everything he does is about winning games on the weekend, whether that's coming into training after a game with review or previewing opposition teams coming up, and just everything he does during the week is just so influential for us players. And I feel like a lot of us players are seeing it and starting to pick up some really good habits from it. And yeah, he's such an inspirational leader for us.
Toby, every time I go on a panel show, 360, SEN, wherever, podcast, whatever, I'm getting sick of being asked what's going on with Toby Sexton and his contract for next year.
So can you tell us?
So no. So I'm not going to ask you about your contract because it seems to be such a bloody cliched question.
Yep.
What I did want to ask though, mate, is how do you prepare and how do you play and how do you just with that in the background? Do you just you put it in the hands of your manager? Are you talking to the club about it? Like what? How do you just block that out and play the way that you are playing the great footy that you are?
Yeah, it can be difficult at times, to be honest. Obviously, all the unknowns of what next year looks like, but at the same time, I'm in a really fortunate position where our side's playing some really good footy, and we're obviously sitting on top of the ladder. And at the end of the day, I've got a job to do each week, and that's to play a game of footy on the weekend. And all my attention just goes towards that, and it's just about taking as cliche as it sounds, it's just about taking each day as it comes. And if I can do that, well, hopefully all the other stuff will kind of sort itself out sooner rather than later.
Hey, Toby, I know that he's one of your teammates and you're obviously going to say something very nice about him, but I love the way – I've always been a fan of Kurt Mann's. I just love how he's just so dependable in every position you can throw him. So he's been touted as a potential bench player for Queensland, maybe at worst 18th man in case of HIAs. What's he like? Tell us what he's like around the team and the role that he plays.
Yeah, I've always been pretty close to him when he moved, but I've actually started rooming with him this year, and he's I call him Old Fossil. He's a bit of an old fella like compared to all us young fellas, but yeah, he deserves. I'd be putting him in the Queensland side. The form he's been in this year has just been unreal, and the impact he's had on not only me but a lot of our spine members. He's such a calm, kind of really calm voice for us, and he's been so influential for me. And when we play as well, he's always looking to play and create opportunities, and I've just got to try and get on the back of him. And yeah, he definitely deserves a chance if he gets it.
Toby, if you wanted to know how well the Bulldogs are playing, you just have to look at the fans in the streets of
Yeah.
Belmore. Although I saw footage last night of them going mad, and you know the spirals in the P1 car park.
Yep.
Like they were like going crazy, dancing in amongst the cars as they were trying to leave the car park. Tell us about how infectious your Bulldogs supporters are.
Yeah, it's obviously enormous. They're the reason why we play each week, and I think they're growing in confidence each week as well, along with us. And even saw last night for a Friday night game, kind of last time slot of the night at 8 o'clock. I think whether it's a year or 2 years ago, we probably only get 15,000, but last night we had 30,000 there, and they were cheering us on, and they were a big reason why we ended up getting home in the end of the game, I think. And yeah, they're so cool to play in front of, and you can't tell me there's any more passionate fans than them in the game. That's for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, they are. It was one of the worst places to play at Belmore Oval back in the day. It was terrible if it was an away side, but their fans love them. Now, what's on your day off? What are you getting up to, Tobe?
I'm actually down at Cronulla Beach at the moment, so I'm down with my girlfriend, and I got my brothers here as well. And we've got a pretty quiet weekend, we haven't had too many Friday night games, so it'd be nice to have a kind of relaxing weekend, and then before you know it, we're playing Dolphins next Thursday night, which will come around quick. So enjoy the weekend and, yeah, start prepping for Dolphins.
Do you get back to the Goldie much?
A little bit, sometimes in my buys and that. So we got a couple of days off during our buys. So we've got a buy coming up and play a couple of games in another buy. So I'll be able to get home to the family on the Gold Coast and live it up there.
Yeah, watch out, Burley Pav. Watch out the Burley Pav. Hey, Toby, you are going sensational in these first 11 rounds, and you're a big reason why the Dogs are where they are. So well done. Well done on your performance and the team's performance last night. Thank you very much, mate, for taking time out and joining us.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, he's a good young lad. I remember talking to the Gold Coast Titans guys about him, and he's a really good guy to have him around. Yeah,
and playing good footy.
Yeah,
the try he scored was great last night.
Absolutely, he's got a good combination. He lets Burton do the big plays. He gets the team around the field. He asks a lot of questions.
The Dogs don't want him.
Yep.
The Dragons.
Yep. Hey, let's get into the The Sunday games, let's touch on those really quickly before we get to a break. And the first one is covered by SEN League. 2 games SEN League is going to cover this week, the first and the third game tomorrow. Broncos versus the Dragons, Sunday 2 p.m, Suncorp Stadium. I love Suncorp Stadium on a Sunday afternoon, better than a Friday night. Ezra Mann is the big story, returns to the side, probably earlier than what many would anticipate, but because of the injury to Ben Hunt, which I'm thinking he may not get back on the field for a long, long time with that hamstring injury at 35 and quite a substantial tear. Ezra Mann, it wouldn't surprise him if he comes off the bench, or do you throw him straight into the deep end?
Just throw him in there.
I agree. Yeah,
I just want to see Ezra play the football that he was playing year before last.
Yep.
You know, he was
best support player in the game.
Incredible. And, obviously he scored the tries in the grand final, but he was more than just that. He just has so much energy, and he's like a little pinball pinging around, little stocky pinball pinging around the ground. I love those sort of players.
So against South Sydney last week, there were a number of times when the Broncos made a line break, and there was no Broncos players in support, and that's concerning.
That's not a good sign.
Ezra Mann, if he's playing, and Reece Walsh, if he's playing, they're there as an option for support.
You know when they click, though, when Brisbane click...
Oh, they're one of the most entertaining sides to watch.
Well, they're the team to beat, aren't they?
Yeah, you're right.
They're not the team to beat. They're the team that's going to push... I think Melbourne is still the gold standard, but they're the team that's going to push Melbourne if they can just get it together.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Broncos win there, and I know you think the Dragons are going to win. Raiders up against the Titans at GIO Stadium Sunday afternoon. Well, if you're a loyal fan.
More hope.
Yeah. Raiders, how they hit back is going to be really important. Matty Nicholson out for 12 weeks, ankle injury as well. You know, they've got Zach Hoskin comes back in there as well. Simi Sasangi. Corey Horsburgh returns. Can you get on the Titans here? Raiders too strong. How they reply?
I just think the Raiders will be too strong. I do think the Titans are an infinitely better team with Kieran Foran's level head in that.
Jersey number 14. Yeah.
It's good to see Foz back.
Yep, absolutely. And the third game and finalises round 11. West Tigers up against the Rabbitohs, and SEN League are going to be covering this from 6 p.m. from Campbelltown as well. Terrell May, even though that he's on the nose the last couple of days, especially after the social media gaming post that went out.
Social media.
It wasn't his post, it was someone else that put it out. Wasn't really respectful towards Blues jerseys. He's still got a chance to impress. Latrell, can he back up from last week? Will he rest on his laurels? Another big question.
I think he'd be... on the eve of Origin selection, I can't see Latrell going into his shell. He's got to be the left centre for New South Wales.
I think he's locked in.
For me. But I reckon that's a funky game too. Sunday night between those two teams, anything could happen.
Could go anywhere. Absolutely. I am going. I think the Bunnies just get them.
I think so too. I think
it's Golden Point.
Ooh.
Alex Johnston has been named to make his return as well. But this is more about how the Tigers respond to last week. Okay, humiliated against Melbourne, which they've done to a number of teams. But in saying that, this is going to be how they respond, is how they're going to play the rest of the season. That's what I think about their character. So let's see whether they can all turn up and put a better performance. You're listening to Saturday League Kickoff. Thanks to Winghouse. Let's get to a break. And after the break, we're going to talk about, we're going to get to your texts.